Hey guys, so today we are trying out Makeup by Mario's Ethereal Eyes palette. Yes, I know it's not new. It is limited edition. I don't know when he launched this. Could have been last year, could have been 2 years ago. But I always see people bringing this up, whether it's when Makeup by Mario launches a new product. I always see people saying like, bring back the Ethereal Eyes. And I saw this recently, I don't know if it was on Trend Mood, but when the new Natasha Denona palette came out, people were like, oh, the Ethereal Eyes is so much better than that palette. And I was like, why does everyone keep talking about that palette? So I went over to Makeup by Mario. I scrolled all the way down till I found a picture of the palette. That was November 29, 2022. But that's the latest post I've seen of him talking about that palette. So I think it launched before this, because in the comments, obviously everyone was like, bring back the Ethereal Eye palette. And this was last year. Anyways, my point is, so a few days ago, I had no idea what the Ethereal Eyes palette looked like. So I scrolled down to his page to find this post to see when was the last time he posted about this. And I was like, damn, it was last year and he hasn't relaunched it. I highly doubt he's gonna bring it back. And then literally the next day, which was what, 2 days ago or 3 days ago, he was like, oh guys, I'm relaunching my Ethereal palette. And I was like, that's so funny that literally the day before he launched, I went and found it on his page and I was like, oh my gosh, that is a beautiful palette. I can see why everyone wants it. So I'm glad I didn't have to wait for a year just waiting for the product. I'm glad that I saw it and then literally the next day he launched it. I hope you guys enjoy the video. I'm sorry, you guys probably already seen a ton of videos testing this palette, but this is my first time. It's gonna be my first time seeing this in person. I've never seen it at Sephora in their little like test section. I'm super excited because till this day, I haven't found a good solid favorite neutrals palette. And if I love this, it's gonna suck because it is a little bigger than what I would usually bring when I travel. I haven't seen any videos of this being used. I'm sure when this came out, a lot of YouTubers tried out this palette. And then once it was sold out, since it's limited edition, no one was using it on their channel anymore. I'm guessing that's why. Now that it's back in stock, I'm really hoping I like this, because this would probably be my go-to neutrals palette. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. I'm shocked because there's usually like that plastic film on top. If this was a mini, this would definitely be my go-to travel palette. Again, I haven't tested it out, so I have no idea if it's any good. I said this a few times, if my Kimchi Chic palette, if they cut out just the neutrals, that would be my go-to palette. No one has beat this yet. These have been the most blendable and creamy and just easy to work with neutrals. So if this guy doesn't beat this, then it's not worth it. Okay, let's swatch the one up here, because like I said, I think this is the one that I'm gonna use on my lid. It's more gold than I thought it would be. And then let's do the one below it. I have a few shimmers that swatch better than this and pack on better. This is the more gold one. See, they kind of all pretty much look the same. And then let's try the bronze shimmer. They're very light. They're not a really heavy shimmer or pigment. This top one, obviously, is something I would use on the brow. Okay, the mattes swatch way better. And then I would probably put this one in the crease. Yep, I would put that one in the crease. I would put either this one or this one in the outer corner. Yeah, see, that one's a little more chocolatey. And then we have that one. These two look so similar. Okay, now that's really brown. So you can see how much darker that last brown is versus this. So I already put a primer on and I'm gonna go with the lightest shade. Okay, it's blending pretty well. Right now, like first impression with this first shade, I do wanna say the Kimchi Chic palette blends a tiny bit better than this. Just a tiny bit. I will go in with this one right here below it. So I feel like it's staying in the spot right here really nice, and a little bit is blending in, and it's not getting messy. So that's not as dark brown as I would usually use for the outer third. So now I'm gonna put this one on. I really want to see the difference between this and this. So maybe on this eye, I'll use this and then see if there's that much of a big difference. So blending this felt very easy and simple. It's not harsh. It's very light. It's not a heavy look, which again, this is perfect. This is what I would love to bring for travel. I will say that even though this doesn't blend as fast as my kimchi palette, it looks more airbrushed, which is pretty cool. I feel like all the browns are blending into each other really well. Okay, now let's go in with that brow bone shade. Yeah, very simple, very easy. So I'm gonna try for the lid. Let's just go with the original one I wanted to put on my lid, even though I feel like this one would be what I would go for. So since that is a little bit more gold, that's not something I would do in real life. I feel like gold just doesn't look good on my eyes. Let's try the one that I wanted to try on my lid for the inner corner. It's really pretty. Let's go with the bottom, going back in with the original brown. I'm sorry, I know this is pretty boring, but again, I'm just here to see how good this palette works. Okay, now I'm gonna do the exact same thing on the other eye, but instead of this for the outer third, I'm gonna use this one. And to see if there really is a difference between the two darker browns. Okay, and then we're gonna go in with the second lighter brown. Did I go in with this? Is this more like cool toned? Yep. Yeah, I don't know where I would put that on this side. We used this one and now we are going to use this one instead. Yeah, it's just a tiny bit darker. This is a little bit more warm, hot chocolate brown versus cocoa. So I mean, not that big of a difference to me. But honestly, I probably prefer this more for an outer third. Okay, yeah, I guess you can see here that this is darker than this one. And now since they're kind of not matching, I think in the end I'll put the deepest one. But right now let's go back to one of the shimmers. So let's go with the one that I feel like would be the actual shade I would put all over my lid. I love that it's light enough and just simple enough to use with your fingers. Like, it looks more natural even though it's glittery. Now I'm wondering if I should kind of rub the glitters off and try out the other glitters. This is way too gold for my liking. You know what? Let's put it on top of this gold. Why not? Gold. Oh yeah, that's gold. The first one's not as intense as this gold, but again, I don't see the need to put these two golds. So I mean, it kind of looks the same. I don't think it's necessary to be in there. Should we try this one? This is more like gray, right? See, maybe this grayish color will work really well with the cool tone gray. Sorry if I'm flipping you off. Even popping up? Yeah, I packed it on. I feel like that didn't really make a big difference. You know what? Let me just swatch them on my hand so I can see what the difference is. That was the first gold, and that is the second gold I put on top of it. See, like very vague differences. Let's now go in with my favorite shade, this second one right here. It's more pinky compared to the golds. And then let's see what this one looks compared to the pinky one. And this is the gray one that I put on top of this one. Okay, now let's test out the last brown one. I'm debating if this should just cover up both of these. See, that's more of an actual shimmer. These two are very light glitter toppers, and that's like a shimmer. Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna do it just because there's the difference between the two. Okay, again, gold and then bronze. Those are the two different shimmers. Obviously, this would look better going on by itself and not on top of separate shade, but I do not want to wipe my eye off. That bronze is actually really pretty. Like, I would totally use that as my smoky brown shade. Yeah, I actually really like that. I'm gonna put this on the outer third of both of these so we can see how dark brown this is. And now you can see how deep this one is compared to this. It's insane how each one I keep thinking is so deep, and then I add another color and it just gets deeper and deeper. Okay, now let's go in with the Makeup by Mario Master Matte's liquid liner. It is one of the rare liquid liners that doesn't transfer on my oily lid. I have been testing out all of my liquid liners and there have only been like 3 that do not transfer on my oily lids out of like the 12 I have, and this is one of them. It's just a little harder to draw on compared to the other ones I like. Like, it's not a good full black swoop. There will be patches that I need to fill in that this just skips over. It's not my favorite, but again, just because it doesn't transfer, it's on my top list. Okay, for the life of me, I still cannot figure out how to use his SoftSculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. I mean, everyone's been talking about this and it's their favorite, yet like this is gonna be my third time now, and the 2 times before this haven't been that great. Like, I feel like they didn't really blend well and they looked, I don't want to say muddy, it didn't look good. And I don't know if it's because I haven't found the right brush to use with it or what, but I'm gonna be using Exo Beauty's medium buffer brush. Just gonna tap the nipple, and let's hope this is the brush that works well with it. Honestly, so far, the Physicians Formula, this has been the easiest for me to blend out. I feel like for this price, it should be blending out way easier. I think he sells a brush that goes with this, and maybe if nothing else works, then I might buy that and see if that makes it so much better. I feel like it looks good down here. So that's the side with the sculptor, and that is without. I mean, honestly, with it not working so easily, if I wasn't making videos, then I would probably return it. So we're keeping everything brown today. I'm gonna go in with Milani's Cheek Kiss Liquid Blush in the shade Nude Flush. This is the closest I have to a brown blush. I was shocked because I'm not a blush person, and I made sure I binge watched a ton of videos of like what the best blushes are or everyone's favorite liquid blush, and this popped up in a lot of people's recommendations, especially this shade. I'll just grab a tiny bit. I probably will put a little bit more because I feel like you can't tell it in the camera, maybe a little bit. So you can see how like empty this cheek is compared to like the browner blush. See, now I feel like you can see it more. So yeah, again, I could probably go deeper with that, but I'm gonna keep it right there. Okay, and for highlight, I'm gonna go in with Laura Geller's Gilded Honey. Again, we're keeping it in the little brown goldy theme. Okay, now let's go in with lips. So I'm gonna use one of the deepest nudes I have. This is Rare Beauty's matte lipstick in the shade Creative. And then I'm gonna use Colourpop's Lippy Pencil in the shade BFF3 for lip liner. Oh my gosh, what happened? She has like a little dent there. Oh, that sucks. Okay, so there you have it, guys. Our cute little basic simple Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes eyeshadow palette look. But overall, yes, I love it. I want to say I give it like a 8 out of 10. I'll take off a point with the price. I mean, again, I know it's Makeup by Mario, but I feel like for that price, I would wait till there was a discount to buy this, even though I don't think that would happen because I don't think there would be enough palettes before he even did a discount, since again, it's limited edition. So I'll take off a point for that. The other point, just feel like there was no need to put some of the glitters. At the end, they kind of all look the same. If he took out some of the glitters or 1 or 2 of the browns and that made the palette cheaper, I would love it so much more because, again, knowing myself, I'm never going to use the golds or that bronze or the cool tone. So yeah, if he like cut this palette in half and it was a little cheaper, then I would give it a 10 out of 10. But product-wise, yes, the eyeshadows are beautiful. They blend beautifully. They're so smooth and creamy, and they just flow together, you know, because even though there are a lot of palettes that have multiple browns, I feel like some of them just, the browns don't work together, but all of these flow together, whichever brown you put with what. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's a basic one, but again, I was so excited to try it. I had to try it on camera, so here we are. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in my next video.